y'all see when I'm live and y'all tune in, so I'm gonna wait for a few minutes. Hey, whoever's on here, I know it's bad connection. Every time I leave out the dang house, I have not been getting very good connection on this dang live YouTube lately. Hey, Ashanti. So what's been going on? I know I said your name wrong. Ashani. Did I say it correctly? Hey, can't. What you play? You can't do what? I can't see what your name means. So anyways. Alright. I'm just leaving the house, y'all. Doing Grubhub. If you can see my shirt. And it's been a slow day. And let me tell you, the only reason why it's been slow is because I've basically been hanging around the house. You know, I didn't even do Uber Eats yet. And here it is, 7:16. Okay, yeah. What is a cop stops one person, and then you end up blocking the whole entire dang street, man. This is so stupid. Let me see what's going on. See, this must be getting on my dang nerves in Atlanta. Is that people, see, y'all want to drive like bad out of hell, but then the minute a cop is around, then all of a sudden y'all want to drive proper. Here it is, somebody hit somebody else trying to turn and come out of the dang. See, sometimes I wish I had me a camera. I could show y'all some of this foolishness. And the thing about it, it's really unnecessary. Somebody in a little, two cars got into an accident, and someone hit the other person. See, that's what they get. See, people so focused on trying to get to nowhere that y'all cause the most stupidest accidents. You know, I mean, really. Boy, so, you know, So anyway, it's been a slow day because number one, I didn't do Uber Eats earlier during the lunch crowd. Yeah. But, I mean, look at this. And now think about it, I'm in Stone Mountain. All I did was come out of dang North Deshawn, turn onto Annistown Road, which is nothing but a two-lane street, two-lane highway. Not even a highway. Two-lane street. And people just do the most stupidest shit and get in the most stupidest of accidents when somebody hits somebody. You know, how one person make a right turn and then another car, I don't know where the hell they came out of, would just hit another, you know, stupid. Anyways, so today with Grubhub, I pretty much, I had, how many blocks I had today? I had 11 to 1, and I said I'm gonna wait and see if I get me an order around lunch. I didn't get nothing. So once that 1 o'clock came, turned off the app, and then my block started at 6 o'clock to 8, and then here it is, 7:18. I get one order, and I'm going to Tucker to lucky number 7. So luckily it's not that far. And after that, by the time I drop off that one order, boom, I made $40 with the guarantee with the Grubhub. That's it. I didn't do Uber Eats today. I didn't drive around trying to do Uber Eats orders, because I find that ever since people went back to school during the daytime, it's been extremely slow for Uber Eats, you know. And it's not popping like it used to be. I mean, yeah, I could go to downtown Atlanta, which I'm not. I could go to, you know, the typical areas, you know, North Drew Hills and Emory. But see, until those college students come back, which will be in a couple weeks, that's when it's going to get busy. You know, so when they come back to school, you know, that first couple weeks, you know, they going through registration and moving back into the dorms and apartments. You know what? You want to give it at least a good month for people to settle down. You know, everybody's used to going to classes and getting their little routines and football games, and, you know, things go back into play, parties. You know, all the little fraternity and sorority parties and people pledging. You know, white people pledge differently than black sororities and fraternities. See, white folks, their fraternity and sorority thing starts the first week of school. For some reason, it's like that second, third week. They have a whole different process. And so once school gets back into session, it's gonna be on and popping with this dang food deliveries, you know. So for now, it's gonna be pretty much slow. It's gonna be pretty slow. It ain't gonna be as busy, especially when you're going around anywhere in the Emory and Georgia Tech. That's gonna really be then you start seeing things picked up more. So for now, you know, we have to kind of focus on maybe going during the dinner crowds, you know, downtown and business districts, and people order food. But let me tell you, those non-tipping ass people with Uber, you know, it just ain't worth it. It's like Saturday over the weekend, how you do 11 deliveries and only got tipped twice, and out of the two people that tipped, one person only tipped $1, which was a black girl, and then the other one, she was nice because, you know, she gave me $5 in cash. And she asked me about tipping on the app, but I didn't want to, you know, I don't trust Uber when it comes to tipping on that app, because let me tell you, I find a lot of people are not even focusing on, I find a lot of people are not even focused on giving you a rating as much either. You know, because if they give a rating, if they're giving a rating, it's like the minute they give you the rating, it prompts them to the tip option. And for me, I don't know how many people has rated me so far, but I know that they said that you won't get a rating until you get the first 20 people that rates you. Now, I know I got recently updated with the rating, so I think out of all those deliveries, I think a lot of people are not even doing that. I think they just get their food and if they rate you, it's like they not even trying to tip, you know, they not even trying to go any further in regards to tipping. And yesterday was a joke. I only did one order, and I tell you, that one order, that person didn't even give me the right address. They gave me some previous address, and then when I almost got there, I called them. They said, "Oh, I put the wrong address. It was the previous address when I used it before." You're a damn fucking lie, because number one, the person, you know, I live in Stone Mountain near Gwinnett area. You know darn well that Main Street is not a block up the street from where you are. You know, I know exactly where Main Street crosses over, you know, 178 turns into Main Street once you cross over 124. So for this person to put Main Street and say that it's not even a mile from the Smoothie King and 78, you're a damn lie. And then this fool, when I called him, he said, "I thought I put the right address in." So I'm sitting here, had to call you twice and say, "Put the, you know, you need to update the address because we're paid based on the mileage when you pick up the order." Then he gave me some other address, and it didn't even exist when I was driving to the second address that he texted me. And then it seems like when it looked like I was almost there, which I wasn't there because that street never even existed, then he gonna send me a text message telling me, "Oh, never mind, I'll go and pick it up myself." And then I'm calling Uber support, and then customer service called me at the same time. "Are you still gonna deliver?" And see, they foreigners. They in some Malaysia, some other foreign country. "This car is recorded, and we're going to are you going to deliver?" I said no, because number one, the person gave me the wrong address the first time. I had to call him twice. He texted me the address, and I'm on my way to the address to deliver the smoothies. And then he tells me in a text message that never mind, he'll go ahead and pick it up himself. And then you know what, that thing came up to $3.25. So I said, wait a minute, that's not even correct. So I sent them a snapshot of the text message. The customer said that he changed his mind, he'll get it himself with the correct address. And then turned around, they had to do a fare adjustment, and I ended up getting $4 and 85 cents, almost $5. That trip was not $3, it was almost $5, give or take a couple of cents. So you see, people, let me tell y'all, don't let these stupid ass customers tell you, "Oh, I put the wrong address in and it was from before." Because I placed an order twice with Uber Eats. It tells you clear as day before when you place your order, it shows up right on the top your address, clear as day, of where the address is going to be delivered to. And then when you place the order, it tells you throughout the whole entire process that address is where you're going to be delivered, because it tells you what the cost is based on your address, because you paid $1 and I think it's $1 and something cents. I can't remember it's $1 and something cents a mile with Uber Eats. So people know that that in addition to they're gonna pay the $4.99 delivery fee anyway, plus whatever the food is. But in regards to you getting paid, you got to make sure that if the customer tells you, "Oh no, I'm on this street, I'm on this such and such a street," you make sure that you know that address is updated in regards to your pay, because a person could be 2 miles further up the road, and that's $2 that you're missing out when it's time to get paid. You know. So don't let these dumb motherfuckers sit here and try to con you by giving you, some off-the-wall address down the street but in actuality you driving another 2-3 miles, which is $3 that you may not be getting paid, and that adds up. Because I find that a lot of people are doing that crap. They're not putting in complete addresses. They come talking about, well, I thought that I could put the well, when I went in the app, it won't let me put the address. Yes, it does. I said I'd be glad to show you, and you can know how to update your app, update your address when you want to make another order. Because see, you ain't gonna sit here and tell me some lie. But some of these people, they'll con you. That's why I don't. That's the main reason why I don't really drive people no more. Because it's the same thing. You're driving people. You're gonna drive them based on the number of miles, that the time you pick them up and the time you drop them off. You know. And people, they'll do that. So you got to make sure that Uber is aware of the final destination, whether it's dropping off food or people, that address is the updated address where you went to. Because let me tell you, like I said, $3.25 is a whole big difference between $4 and 80 something and 85. I think it was $4.85. It was almost $5. That's a big difference. That is a big difference. Shoot. We're not talking about 2-3 cents. But when you talk about dollars, that's a big difference. Especially they turn around and don't want to tip. So you have to make sure you get that mileage thing is correct. Same thing with Grubhub. You know, you get paid on the mileage on your trips. You get 50 cents a mile plus the delivery fee and whatever the tips the customer leaves. But if you sit around and people are messing around with that address, you know, that could be a big difference too. That's a big difference. Dang it, this sun is right in my face. $7:31. I know this person don't possibly live that far. Once I pick up this food from Lucky Number 7, pick that up, probably be about 7. And say 7:40. Go to the person's house. 40:45. Yeah, I may still have. Yeah, I may get this last order's gonna end at 7:55 approximately. And after that app will be turned off. Because I don't know if I'm gonna get any more orders. And if I do, I don't want to get suckered and be going someplace far. And next week's schedule, let me tell you, that dang Grubhub knocked me down from being a premier. No, it's elite. I went from being the highest level you could get as a driver with Grubhub, or delivery person rather. It was from elite to premier. Now I'm down. Now I got knocked down to general, meaning that I could pick the schedule on Friday at 10 o'clock. Not Friday, they didn't know, Saturday. So I went from picking out a schedule for Thursday to get first dibs on schedules 2 weeks ago, last week. Then I went down to being a premier. Then this coming week, now I'm down to the regular drivers, meaning Saturday at 10 a.m. I get to pick a schedule, knowing darn well that there's no schedules available at that point. But that's all right. That is all right. And the reason why I say that is because I've came across too many Grubhub delivery people who's telling me that, oh, I don't work on no block. They not even working on the block, y'all. Ooh, the sun is in my eyes. Dang it, I hate this. I'm gonna try to put this. Who else is on here? Miss Sonny, are you working Grubhub or you do Uber Eats? What do you do? Which apps are you? Which apps do you work, or do you work these apps? Come on, people, turn. Dang. They're doing the do. Now, if you're not if you want to subscribe to my channel, hit subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. See, I don't do no fancy editing with my videos, you know. One, who got time to do all that? And two, who has time to figure that out? I don't do all that. But let me also tell you another thing. I'm gonna write my next blog on an interesting article that I read yesterday. And for those who are wondering about the taxes and the 1099s, let me tell you, I hate to tell y'all this, but according to it was either the New York Times online or it was CNN. I can't remember which one it was. It was one of those major outlets. They had stated, the IRS has stated that there were millions of people that's going to be penalized because they're not paying the quarterly estimated taxes. And there was a rise of people not properly paying the quarterly taxes, and a lot of it's coming from people doing these gigs, ride-sharing gigs. And because of these ride-sharing gigs, like Uber and Grubhub and all these other ones, that there are going to be some penalties that's going to be assessed. Now, like I know, some of y'all don't know, I worked at the IRS for over 10.5 years, and one of my first positions was handling those notices about the estimated tax payments that people weren't paying. And one of my jobs and duties was to reconcile accounts with estimated tax payments, and then sending the notices out. Now this is, you know, you don't get these notices April 15th and everything else. A lot of people think the only date that matters when it comes to the IRS is the April 15th tax deadline, when you need to file your tax return and when it's due and this and that or whatever. But are you gonna get out and get the hell on? Shit. People be parking, looking at you like, why you fucking looking at my face? Shit. I ain't got nothing to do with you. Just get the hell on out so I could, So anyway, so in yesterday's article, it talked about how a lot of people were doing their estimated taxes. They were not paying the estimated taxes when you're supposed to be paying quarterly. So yesterday I set up my EFTPS account, which stands for the Electronic Federal Tax Payment System. And what it is a system where you pay your quarterly estimated tax. Now, some of y'all may say, well, I don't know how much I'm supposed to pay and this and that or whatever. Now, the way what you're supposed to know is you're supposed to be looking at your last year's tax return and look at the tax that you paid on your taxable income from a year ago. So let me give you an example. Now, when I did my taxes, now I'm only going to give you round up figures. I'm not going to give you the exact figures, but I would show y'all this in a whole separate video. I'm going to do a whole series of my tax videos, and I'm not going to do live. I'm going to make a recorded video and then post it. So for those who are interested in wanting to know about it, just be on the lookout for that. So anyways, so back to my example, then I got to pick up this food. So let's say last year my taxable income was $10,000, and on that taxable income of $10,000, and that's minus all the deductions, all the exemptions, all the whatever, and my tax on that income is, for single, no kids, dependents, is $1,500. So that means that if my tax is $1,500 and my taxable income from a year ago is $10,000, now this is only for example purposes, that's not my actual tax, I'm just giving this as example. So if my tax was $1,500, that means that this year I should pay $1,400 divided by 4, because you're supposed to make 4 payments every quarter. 4. The next payment is due in September. So you should already made, this should be your second payment that you should have made. No, actually this should be your third payment you should have made already, because the payment that's due in September, then the next one is going to be January of the following year. That's your last estimated tax payment. Then you file your tax return next year. So if your tax last year was $1,500, that means you're supposed to divide that by 4, and that equals to, what is it? Who's Safe Harbor? Well, okay, Savvy Dad, I don't need your opinion. No, that's incorrect. I don't need no opinions from you, because see, you like to interject and say things. I don't need to give you an example. That's what you like to do. If you say I want to pay 100, it's supposed to be 110%. See, a lot of people, they like to give a lot of flapping information. I didn't ask for your opinion. I'm giving an example. There's way more things you need to factor in on that. I'm giving an example because, number one, what you're trying to tell people is I pay 110. That's okay, fine, that's you. But that's not. If you want to start your own channel, please start your own channel. Don't jump on my bandwagon and interject and try to, I hate when people do that. I hate when people do that. Make your own channel, because I do like that you subscribe to my channel, but if you want to make a YouTube channel, please do so, because there are thousands of channels out there that speaks on this. Everybody likes to make up opinions and throw up in something and everything else, but they don't provide the actual proof. They don't actually provide the resources or nothing. I didn't take time to make these videos to have someone jump on. I pay 100. Okay, fine, that's you. Make your own channel, please. This is a free, open society that you can make your own thing. Please do. Don't jump on my bandwagon. You know, because there's a lot of people, they will ask for simplicity. You know, not, well, no, and then going back and forth and want to debate. You know, because there's a lot of things that people say out there and make YouTube videos and they have no substance and can't back up anything what they're saying. I'm backing up my experience based on that's what I done. That was my job. I did the numbers. I processed those payments, credit the accounts, sent out the notices and everything else. So if you're a current IRS agent and you could come on here and make those claims and say that, fine. I know if you are or not. But don't come on my channel and just, you know, throw in some things and make comments and I pay 110% and that's wrong. And you know, because trust me, you don't pay the IRS only, you have to pay the state, you got to pay into the Social Security tax, which goes towards your what most people pay into Medicaid. So it's a whole lot more than, I'm talking about the quarterly estimated taxes that one's supposed to pay throughout the year. Simple, point blank. So don't come up in here and try to override or interject or anything else. Make your own channel. Just make your own channel. And you do that all the time. That's why I blocked you. You do that all the time. I get onto the topic, you just get on it. Make your own video. Please. Stop being a damn troll. Because I'm sick and tired of these trolls that get on here. I'll never use your service. Well, fuck you. And I jump, now y'all got me all out of my element talking about something that I ain't even supposed to, that I didn't even want to mention. All I wanted to say was there was an article that I read yesterday that was in the New York Times that spoke about that millions of people are not paying the quarterly estimated taxes. They're not paying, they're not doing their taxes correctly in regards to that. And the IRS is cracking down on it, and there's penalties. Because there's a lot of people out here, they do these ride-sharing gig economies, they drive around, they're telling people they make $1,000 a week, and ain't nobody, you know, and everybody says, yeah, make sure you hold enough taxes by the end of the year. And they're not even telling the full story. You're not even giving the correct information. You just make a blank statement and just make statements and not really explaining what it is that you're supposed to do. You don't know, nobody knows the exact science of how much your estimated payments are until you actually go on the 1040 ES form and plug in all of your figures into that formula, and it'll tell you exactly. But if you're a person who does these ride-sharing gigs and your income is up and down, and you don't know what you're supposed to be paying, and this is not, and you don't have a regular W-2 to pay into the taxes through your withholdings, then you can't just make no blank statement, well, I just pay 110% or whatever the tax is, and then, you know, make your own channel, please. Make your own channel and do that. Don't get on somebody's channel and just, you know, throw something up, because I'm not going back and forth with you, because you know that really get on my nerves when you do that, and you've done this so many times. So make your own video. Don't question me, or are you an enrolled agent, or you this, because see, it's none of your damn business. It ain't no, it's not your business. So don't go there with me. You know? And if you got mad and you wanted to unsubscribe, fine, unsubscribe from my channel. But let me go ahead and make one point that I need to make to people who really wants to know. I'm not here to make things complicated, because some of y'all people make stuff a little bit more too complicated than it needs to be. I'm going to give an example, and that's it. If you want to know exactly what it is that you need to do, then I'll make another video, as I said, and I will make another video that's going to give you valuable resources and information. Point blank period. Now, I'm going to make this one statement, and I've got 30 seconds, and then that's it. If you paid $1,500 in taxes last year, then you divide that by 4. And then you pay the quarterly estimated tax as what you estimated what it's going to be. That's why it's called estimated taxes. Because, number one, you have to pay something. And that way, if in fact that you have the Schedule C, the Schedule A, and you're able to deduct what your expenses minus your income, and you have no income and you have no taxable income, the money that you paid in the estimated taxes last year, you will get it back. And that's what your refund is. You overpaid in taxes. Because we don't know, because number one, you don't know how much money people made. You don't know anything about what people's circumstances are. There are certain situations in regards to that, people are exempt and they're not required to pay estimated taxes. I don't know everybody's situation. Some people may be a farmer. If you're a farmer, for instance, or if you are partially disabled, so if you don't, wait, what do you say? If you don't have it, if this is your first year doing, a 1099, you haven't paid any taxes. So the rule of thumb is this, and this is, all right, I'm going to deliver this food, and I'm going to make the announcement on my video that's going to speak about specifically about the estimated tax payments, since the estimated tax payments are due for the next round, which is September. And at that point, I'm going to give an answer to some people's questions about, well, it is my first year and what I'm supposed to do and blah 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 and this and that or whatever. Now, like I said, you're basing your taxes that you're supposed to pay, and the only way you can really gauge it is, what did you do last year? This isn't about, well, what if this is the first year you got a 1099? What did you make last year? It's money. How much money did you make? It ain't got nothing to do with 1099. The only thing, the difference between 1099 W-2 is that if you work as a W-2, the taxes are already withheld based on your what you did on the W-4. If you did it properly and not claim 8-10 exemptions when you only have 1 or 2 and don't have nothing taken out because somebody told you, oh, you exempt from paying taxes or something crazy. What did you do last year? Money-wise, taxable income. It has nothing to do with whether it was a W-2 or 1099. If last year you made $15,000 and it says your taxable income is whatever the amount is, you're estimating it. Y'all should know what y'all made by now. You know what you made. It's not, y'all, some people make it more difficult than what it needs to be, and it's not. It's not that difficult. All you're gonna do is gauge it on what you've made last year. Whatever your taxable income was last year. What did you make last year? If you made $50,000 last year and you paid and your taxable income on $50,000 for single is $13,000 or $12,000, then you take the tax divided by 4. If you know that your income has suddenly drastically reduced, You know you didn't. If you know you didn't make $50,000 last year, you know how much you make. You keep track of what you made. You add up all the income that you got so far, driving Uber, doing Uber Eats or whatever, and if you made $15,000 so far, and it's what, August going on September? No, let's say $20,000. If you made $20,000 so far, then you know that if you was working a regular job with an employee, then you take the percentage of that. And simply say, you know what? I should be paying about, by now, you should have already paid approximately $2,000 or so in taxes if you already made $10,000. You should already paid about $2,000 in taxes if you made $10,000 so far. We're not talking about I get the write-off. We're not talking about the deduction write-offs. We're not talking about that. We're talking about setting aside the amount of money that the government says that you should pay quarterly by the end of the year, before the end of the year, period, point blank. Now, what you pay and what you could afford to pay is two different things. If you know you ain't got the money to pay anything, you say, I just don't got no money, you better pay something. Pay something. Even if it's paying, you know, the whole entire year, you only was able to pay maybe $1,000. And you break that up quarterly. You know, $200. You know, you paid $800. You pay that 4 times a year, $200 every year, and you only could have paid $200. Pay something, because the penalty is based on the fact that if you are able to pay for the whole tax correctly, because if you underestimate the tax, they're gonna just charge you a penalty based on the underestimated tax. You know what? I hate this day. That's all I'm saying. Just pay something. But I could tell you one thing. You're not going to be able to, if this ride-sharing gig jobs is the only job you've done, you're going to have to pay some kind of tax. Everything ain't going to be written off like that, despite popular belief. People just think that they could just write off everything and don't pay nothing. Don't do that, because you can't do that consecutive years. You can't do that and say every year if you did a 1099, you an independent contractor, and you just don't pay into anything, nothing at all, not one dime. Because at one point or another, it's gonna come to a point where it's gonna be like, well, you can't continue to keep showing a negative zero amount. And let me tell you what's going to happen in all of this. See, these ride-sharing gig jobs, 1099, that these companies, Uber and all these rest of these companies are getting people to, you really are employees, but they want to say you're an independent contractor, and they want to give people this false illusion that this is your own business, and oh, this is your own business, you got to treat it as your own business. Man, please. Number one, they want you to treat it as your own business is because you helping their bottom line. But you really are misclassified. I really believe that. I really believe that most of these people, or these companies rather, has misclassified people as independent contractors giving 1099s to avoid providing benefits, paying you properly. And these labor laws that's on the books now, it did not apply, or it does not have, it has nothing to do with these new gig economy jobs. Nothing to do with it. Not one thing. These 1099, these companies that gets people to hire them as independent contractors in lieu of, they're gonna get paid from every party involved. The restaurants, your own pay, 35% of the money you generate, they get 35%. You know? But in the meantime, they want to say, well, you're an independent contractor. And as an independent contractor, just like a business, you get to write off business, you get to write off things just like a business. Do you think that the government is going to continue to give those same benefits? What are you talking about? They pay some of the employees on most of that. You probably, because if you I don't know about contract construction and everything else, but that's not the same thing. What I'm talking about, I'm talking about when you're working under these new companies, these gig economies, where they hold the control of money and what they're going to give you and what they're going to pay you. That's not this. A construction company, first of all, if someone was going to hire people, use your skill, you bring in your skill sets to build a building or provide plumbing, and they're getting paid by the company to build a building, or the state pays the construction company $10 million. But you don't have any employee. You don't have employees that you can keep on the books and continue to pay them a salary unless you have money or income coming in or contracts. So you hire contractors to do the work. I say, okay, I'm gonna hire me a contractor to build the house. Well, I'm gonna hire the contractor to lay the bricks, but the person who laid the bricks, they can't do the plumbing as well. So they're gonna say, okay, let me give you a piece of that $10 million contract and pay you $100,000 to do the contract. The main company gets $10 million from the state or the federal or whomever. They need to hire people to do the job, so they're gonna subcontract the work to you, to people to do the job. Now, as a person who's a subcontractor, let me see if I'm at this person's house. Okay, 4476. If I'm hiring subcontractors to do the work, I've got $10 million from the federal, state, or whomever. I'm gonna pay you $10,000 to do the plumbing work. Now, you're a subcontractor, because you're not the contractor who got the contract to do the work. You're the subcontractor who got hired from the contractor to do the work, and they're just going to pay you a portion of the money. And that's how that's going to go. Well, let me deliver this food. I'll be back, y'all. Alright, I'm back. So like I was saying, whether you a construction worker, Uber driver, Grubhub delivery person, whatever, if you get a 1099 from whomever you're getting, whomever getting you, the point of the matter is this, is that a lot of these labor laws and classifying who's an employee, who's not an employee, and all this back and forth in the court system, it's people are suing companies of this nature for misclassification for a reason, because the old rules on the books, labor laws, does not apply to this new economy. It simply doesn't. All these companies wants to be known as a technology company. Oh, we're a technology company. Even Papa John's. Everybody wants to develop an app to order pizza. You can order pizza online. But nobody wants to classify themselves as a company. They want to say, well, we're a technology company. As being a technology company is just certainly going to change the fact that, oh, because we're a technology company and we're not a entity anymore to have employees to work in an office, and they could work from home, and you could incorporate your company in Ireland and some other foreign countries to avoid the corporate income tax, and you saying that the physical entity of your company is a technology company, and we don't provide actual services, goods and services, or physical products and services. They all trying to get around to avoid paying insurance, corporate income taxes, and other things that typically the companies in the past had to pay. They had to pay. So now they come with this new ways of getting people to be independent contractors, people getting fooled, thinking that, oh, it's my own business, I get to write off. You know what the IRS is going to do? That all these people, if they say you're an Uber driver, independent contractor, and you working for any of these ride-sharing gig economy jobs, don't you think that that the tax laws are being made right now, being discussed right now, of how you're going to be able to deduct those deductions come next year? You think they're simply gonna allow people to say, okay, you could deduct all of these expenses as if you were a regular company? No, you ain't gonna get to deduct all those things like that, because you can only deduct either the mileage or the actual expense. So if you think that the ride sharing gig, and they say, well, the only thing the person is really using to make money is your car, and you could either take the mileage or you could take the actual expenses related to your car, that's all they're gonna change that. I'm telling you, trust and believe. If you don't believe me, that's gonna change. If they're not gonna come up with a whole new set of rules, and the IRS is going to have to decide, because the labor laws that they have now only applies to the old ways of things, the old ways of doing things. So don't get fooled. Hey, don't get fooled into thinking that, that you get to deduct all of these expenses, all of these deductions, and thinking that you could just knock your income down to zero and that's it. It ain't gonna be. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. So don't do that. Don't do it. All I'm saying, the point that I'm making is this, is that all these labor, all these laws, all these changes, there's gonna be changes, and you have to keep abreast of the changes that's gonna come. It ain't gonna be major news. It ain't gonna be something advertised. When September, the Congress passes its budget, it's always in September. October is when they decide what they're going to cut, how much allocate, how much is going to be allocated to what agency and whatever else they're going to do. And you know who's running this government, and you know how he wants to do. Trump don't give a damn about no small business owners, and he surely don't care black people, color, and black folks. And who does most of these ride-sharing gigs? Mostly black folks, and there's some white folks too, but mostly black folks and people of color. Period. All these other things that's going on now in regards to ride sharing, these companies could give a damn. And I'm not gonna sit here and follow no damn commercial and make it seem like, ooh, you could become your, they ain't never mentioned in none of those ads in Uber, they never mentioned that you're your own boss. They just says, you could use this as a ways of making money while you're doing your other thing. Point blank, period. Why do you think so many people are doing 2, 3, 4 apps? 2, 3, 4 companies, And some of these companies, you could tell when they're on the downfall, because they try to limit this, they say they're flexible. Oh, it's flexible. You could turn on the app whenever you want. The only person, even though as much as I can't stand Uber Eats because these non-tipping people, to be honest with you, it's in best interest that Uber gets as many people to drive for them, because that's money that Uber is making. Now, I'm not saying that other companies are not making money off of you, but they don't have as much. And then the people they hire at the local office, they're not going to pay nobody $15, $16 an hour to work there. Shoot, I applied for Uber to work in the office. They didn't even hire me. And they probably won't hire me for the simple fact that the minute they see my degrees and things of that nature, they're gonna be like, they can't afford to pay me, so they're gonna hire, some typical high school person, pay them $10 an hour, because that's all they're gonna pay you, $10 an hour. Not even 10, it's probably less than that. 9, 10, $8, $9 an hour or something crazy. And they don't work, and they work what? 10 o'clock. The office opens at 10, and they close at what? 4:30. 6 hours. They're gonna say, okay, they're only gonna afford to pay someone to work a typical 30 hours, maybe 30 hours. It's just strange. I don't know. But you know what though? Let me go see if I'm gonna get any Uber orders, because I'm sitting here in this parking lot with J Wings and Firestone or whatever. Not Firestone. Firehouse sandwich. Let me see if I get any orders. I ain't do no work, and I know, I wonder what time I delivered that last order, because I may be able to get a few more dollars with Grubhub. Because you know, if you go over your block or go over your time, they're supposed to pay you, but I don't think it was that many hours. Alright, y'all, I'm getting hot. Let me turn on this Uber Eats, because Uber does not work when I'm on YouTube. So, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.